This is Dan Rogers, your host on We the People Town Square, coming to you from the center of the universe, the high plains of Texas, near the headwaters of the Prairie Dog Town Fork of the Red River. Today is December the 29th of 2023, and this afternoon we're here with Darryl Wertz, who's running for Constable, Precinct 1, as the incumbent. Darryl, welcome.
Thank you, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. Let's start off by telling the voters why you're running for re-election as Constable Place 1, and then kind of tell them what your job entails.
Okay. I'm running for re-election in Place 1 because I took the office from 0 in 2013 and built it to what it is today. And I feel I'm doing a good job because I've built it up a lot. I do a lot of work for the citizens that nobody ever really sees, and I think I'm still good for that office. And as far as constables, we do it all. I'll give you a typical today. Today I had probably 12 evictions to serve. Arrested one guy on a felony warrant that was hiding in an apartment. Attended to the JP court. We had a juvenile detention hearing today, so we've been having those recently. So we do it all. But the two things we have to do is tend to the JP court in our precinct and serve any process, civil or criminal, that comes to us.
So rather than the sheriff's office serving the warrants, you serve them?
I serve warrants too. I serve warrants, evictions. There's enough. So the sheriff's office has 3 civil deputies. There's 4 constables, and there's enough civil to go around for everybody.
Really?
It's that busy.
So how do they determine whether it goes to the sheriff's office to serve or the constable?
Mainly, the JP courts all go to their constable. District clerk will usually send it to the sheriff's office, some child support. Out of county, a lot of out-of-county stuff from Dallas, Tarrant, Harris County will come to the constables. Some goes to the sheriff. It's just, I don't know. I guess out of county, they look in the book and the constable precinct 1 looks like he's first on the list, so we'll send it to him.
Does the district clerk make that decision as to how
I think she just kind of, the district clerk in Potter County, when it gets to them, I think they just automatically kind of send it to the sheriff's office.
Okay.
It's been that way for a long time.
Kind of probably depends on where,
yeah,
what area it's in.
And it also depends. Landlords have a choice. They can choose who they want to serve their process. A lot of landlords like to have me serve it because I'm pretty quick with it and get it done. I don't set on anything because if I set on it, it'll build up to a stack a mile high.
Yeah, we want to get that eviction served. Yeah. So what is the bulk of your job? Evictions or?
Evictions seem to be it. I probably do 60 on average, 60 to 70 a month. The first part of the eviction process, the citation part, where you go give them a court date, and then probably another 20 where we actually have to go and put them out.
Writ of possession.
Writ of possessions.
So in the writ of possessions now, do y'all still actually move their stuff out, or do you just let the landlords change the locks?
Landlords move it out. Landlords have to have a crew there, and they move it out to the curb. We try and, our goal is to get the people just to leave, and the landlords not have to do it, but we've had people sit there until we show up.
Mm-hmm. That's never good.
No.
Not a good situation.
And in Potter County, we have a pretty good process on, everything goes outside, how many people the landlord needs to move stuff out, get it done quick and get it done.
So what do you think are the biggest challenges of being a constable?
Serving the evictions. I mean, it seems to be what we do the most of. And, it's a tense time. My ultimate goal, my one wish would be for everybody 1 month to just pay their rent and we didn't have to do any evictions, but it ain't going to happen.
Yeah. So I tell my people, I said, I just want 3 months where nobody moves so we can get caught up.
Yep.
They're always moving around, in and out.
Yeah, there's people I've evicted 3 or 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Well, we try to do our due diligence up front and try to get people that will stay and pay and take care of the property. So we minimize that.
Yep.
It happens. So what do you, as a constable, let's tell the voters your favorite story of being a constable.
Oh, man, I have so many. There's so many, there's so much I do. Truancy court's what I dislike the most when I have to bailiff truancy court because it's just craziness. And, I don't know if I really have a one interesting story because some days people move out and we don't have anything to do. And then some days we have to go inside and actually move them out. I guess the funniest one, or not the funniest one, but we had a lady who refused to come out, and me and another constable went inside, and we ended up having to use chemical agent on her, and she pulled the other constable's face right through the chemical agent, and that constable's kind of out of it then.
Doesn't sound like a pleasant day for him or her. But so the constables are a constitutional office, and they're elected. So who's your boss?
The voters, the people who elect me. That's who I answer to. If, I do most of my work for the landlords, it seems. But if tenants have questions because they, landlords are kind of like, there's good and bad tenants. There's some good and bad landlords. And, if the tenants have questions, I'll try and answer them and direct them either to legal aid or somewhere where they can get help because they're having problems with the landlord doing what's not what the law says. And, I work for the voters and the people, and, I think I do a good job for them because I'm out there every day. The evictions and the paperwork is just part of it. I try and patrol my precinct somewhat because, APD don't have enough people to cover it all. And then I, back up other people. Today I had to have APD come help me get a felon out of an apartment that I was serving an eviction at. So
you work together with the police department?
I work together with police, sheriff's office, other constables. That's what we all need to do is all work together for the good of the citizens.
Yeah. And you think that y'all do that here in Potter County pretty well?
I think we do. I think we represent the Potter County very well. We don't go out and abuse people and abuse citizens. I like to think of we're the people's police, kind of like JP Court is the people's court. We're kind of the people's police. If my phone, they can call me anytime at my office. And I've had people, I have citizens and landlords that actually call me on my cell phone 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, I have this problem. So I try and be accessible to everybody, but we're also one person office in a precinct of about 30,000 people out of the county. And it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for one guy to be everywhere.
So just your presence gives them a sense of law enforcement in their area.
Yes.
Deters crime.
I try to. I've worked in my neighborhood, some apartment complexes where we have problems. I've worked 2 shootings there that I had to finally call APD to come and hand them off to them because it was their deals. Mm-hmm. But I try and do it all. I can't do it all, but I try. I try and help as many people as I can.
And I guess if you were in a precinct that was outside the city limits, then you'd call in the sheriff.
Yeah, the sheriff would usually. Like today, we operate on the sheriff's radio, and so I called for some help, and they sent Emerald Police because they're just closer. Mm-hmm. Sometimes if the sheriff's closer, they'll check out and back me up. Some of the civil guys have stopped and helped me when I needed help, and I've stopped when they need help. But yeah, out in the county, the precinct 3 constable, he usually would have the sheriff helping him more than the police.
Well, some counties, why does Randall only have 2 constables and Potter 4?
So from what I know, there's 2 counties in the state of Texas that Randall used to have 4 precincts, and they did away with 2 precincts because they have 2 JPs and a truancy JP, but they did away with 2 precincts, and now I think they've realized, because Randall County's growing so fast, it's growing way faster than Potter County, that the workload's increasing. And I think it's this county, Randall and Bell County maybe. I can't remember the other county, but there's 2 counties that I've read the law, and there's an exception for those counties to only have 2 JPs, 2 precincts. Even though they have 4 commissioners, they only have 2 JPs and 2 constables.
Maybe everybody in Randall County pays their rent.
Yeah, I don't know what their workload is, but I think I'm probably about the busiest constable in Texas Panhandle.
Well, you'd think precinct 1 would be a pretty easy precinct because that's pretty good neighborhoods, right?
Yeah, we have good neighborhoods, and then it goes in San Jacinto, but we have a lot of apartment complexes. That seems to be the majority of it.
Yeah.
You know, I got some mom and pop landlords every once in a while, but mainly it's apartment complexes.
Yeah, I got you.
And there's some complexes that just, you know, they just are not that great.
Well, poor management.
Yep. Your apartment complexes, they're pretty decent. I hardly get anything out there, so.
Yeah. Well, we hope not. But it always, you know, we do the best we can, and no matter how hard you try, one falls through.
Well, when I was younger, I lived in apartments, and it's just apartment living. It happens.
Yeah. It's usually not the person we move in.
Yeah.
It's somebody they
That's it
associate with, you know.
It's the associates.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell the voters about you?
No,
why they should choose you over your opponent?
I think my experience speaks for itself. I've been in law enforcement since I was 20 years old, and I'll be 60 next month, and I've been doing this a long time. I'm retired from the Amarillo Police Department, and I have the experience. I've been the constable the last 11 years. I have all the civil process training and umpteen million hours, I think million hours, 2,300 hours of law enforcement training. And I think it's experience, because this is a job I think that needs experience, because civil process is one of those that can get you sued almost as easy as just being a cop on the streets.
Mm-hmm. So you got the knowledge, the experience, and
that's
it. Desire to do it again.
Desire to do it at least one more term.
Well, if voters want to find out more about you and more about what a constable does, do you have a way for voters to get a hold of you?
Yeah, my Facebook page is Reelect Darryl Wertz for Potter County Constable Precinct 1. It should be out there. You should probably be able to put my name in, and there it'll pop up. I'm not a big Facebook kind of guy. I've kind of got guided that way. I'm not a social media computer kind of guy.
I hear you.
I'm learning still.
Yeah, it's got its pros and cons.
Yeah, it does.
Well, we want to thank you for your public service and for sticking your neck out there to run again for public office. It takes a lot of courage to do that, and we appreciate you coming by.
Well, thank you very much, Dan.
All right, Darryl. Good luck out there.
I'll need it.
Be safe.
Have a good one.